From experiencing an extreme amount of controversy off the court as just a freshman in college to getting booed on draft day, Brandon Miller has always had the utmost confidence in his game and knew ever since he started first gaining recognition to truly block out the noise while still being able to thrive at a high level on the basketball court, but also came from a very supportive and athletic-based family that's really helped guide him along his rocky journey. This is the Brandon Miller story. Brandon Miller was born on November 22, 2002 in Nashville, Tennessee. But coming up as a kid, Miller was actually a University of Alabama football fan due to his father, Daryl Miller, who was a pretty solid 6'4" tight end in the early 90s at the university. Now his mother, Angela Miller, was a very successful track runner in her youth, but still to this day holds several 400-meter records at the University of Missouri, where she was part of the running team all throughout her college education. But once she got pregnant, she had to set her athletic career aside. Now Miller also had his older brother Junior, whose basketball talents allowed him to play basketball at Fisk University before starting his career professionally. Now his older sister Brittany also thrived and had a solid career on the basketball court while playing the forward position at Cumberland University. And as he had both of his older siblings and his parents that were all successful athletes, as a kid, he really soaked in all the knowledge and all the athletic instincts and simply applied bits and pieces into his game, which really paid off on the basketball court. And by the time he reached the 9th grade and attended Cane Ridge High School, throughout his time there, he was a 3-sport athlete as he played baseball, football, and of course basketball. There, as a freshman, he stood at 6'5" and 165 pounds. Despite being a freshman, he still held his own and was able to average 15 points a contest. He was very effective on the perimeter, but also was a dog in the paint. And by the end of that year, Miller was able to earn his first national high school rank. Now, by the time he reached his junior season, he had already shot up to 6'9" and upped his average to 23 points, snagging 8 rebounds and dishing out 4 assists. But really used his 6'11" wingspan on a daily basis to block 3 shots per contest. And his crazy unique ability to score at all 3 levels whenever he wanted to made him a threat wherever he played, which allowed him to end the year being named Mr. Tennessee Basketball. That summer, he played in the Nike EYBL AAU circuit and suited up on Bradley Beal's team. There, he formed a pretty solid duo between him and Arkansas signee Nick Smith Jr. Miller put up a very solid 13 points, 9 rebounds. At the time, his NBA-like frame made him one of, if not the best prospect in the whole entire AAU circuit. Coming into his senior season, he was a consensus top 5 player in his class of 2022. Everything looked so effortless, and he had a smooth, tight feel that caught a lot of people's attention. He put up 25 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists to go along with 2 steals per game. He ended his senior campaign repeating as Gatorade Player of the Year and was named Tennessee Mr. Basketball. Brandon went on to be chosen to play in the Jordan Brand Classic, along with becoming a McDonald's All-American. He had a plethora of offers to choose from collegiate programs like Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, Alabama, and Auburn. Now, Miller really considered playing professionally in the NBL in Australia, as well as the G League Ignite. But ever since a kid, he knew what his dream school was. That was the University of Alabama, which did result in him making the ultimate decision to sign a letter of intent to play basketball at Bama. And just like any other rising superstar, he had his share of critics that were really speculating that he really didn't play that much competition, especially due to the fact that he was the only 5-star recruit in the state of Tennessee. Coming into his freshman season, it wasn't long until he really started to show of how dynamic of a talent he really was. Miller simply had his way and scored 31 points in a huge win over LSU. Shortly after, controversy would strike because as 23-year-old Jamia Harris was shot and killed by Darius Miles and his friend Michael Davis, there was a lot of speculation around Miller's involvement with the murder. Brandon would not be charged, while the other 2 that were involved were charged with murder. Although Brandon did drive the car back to Darius Miles after receiving a text from him with the murder weapon in the back seat, Miller apparently apparently had no idea what would transpire and basically had no involvement with the plot.
When you found out that someone had died in the other car, Jamia Harris, what do you remember thinking?
It was definitely not a good thing to hear, due to the fact that, you know, I was there at the scene. So kind of put me in a place that, you know, no 20-year-old would want to be. I think the main thing I learned was just always be aware of who you surround yourself by and what you're surrounded by.
Now, in the NCAA tournament, he did struggle a bit, as he only shot just 19% from the field in Alabama's 3 games. But after being named SEC Player of the Year, SEC Rookie of the Year, and First Team All-Conference, he was a projected top 3 NBA lottery pick. He made the decision to forego the remaining of his collegiate eligibility and enter the 2023 NBA Draft.
With the second pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller from the University of Alabama.
Brandon Miller, the SEC Player of the Year, the Newcomer of the Year. Mitch Kupchak, the general manager in Charlotte, he was in attendance for Miller's season-high 41 points.
Brandon Miller has been dominating the talent ever since a kid, and on every single level. He's always had the smooth finesse type trait in his game that's made him a fan favorite. But even when it may have seemed as though that nearly everyone was trying to tarnish his name, he's always been extremely strong-minded and never fell short of staying the course and becoming the best version of himself on and off the court.
It's always been my dream to be an NBA player. So just to, you know, hear that phone call and see that phone call, it's all like just a dream come true. So I think all I can say is just living in the moments right now, taking it day by day with my family.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Brandon Miller story.